Oh man, do I love food. The LA Times even took notice after I ate at Hugo's nearly every day for 32 years. It was just blocks from my home in West Hollywood. And now I've moved to the motion picture and television fund here in Woodland Hills. And my obsession for good meals continue to simmer. Join me as I explore our food options here on the Wasserman campus.
Hi, everybody. It's Phil Gittelman, your original foodie. I'm here with some very, very special people today. I want to introduce Todd Himmel and Dan Michaels. Todd is in the gray shirt, and Dan is sitting next to him. Hi. I couldn't start this particular venue without...
That smells good.
And look what Jen has.
Very nice. Very nice.
Delicious.
I know that was the whole motivation, is she wanted it.
So it made it happen, yeah.
I want to introduce the deep dish pizza.
Gino's East.
It's wonderful, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gino's East. We have a display. Phil, can you see the display that we have set up of the various pizzas as well?
Oh, I see it. Yes.
Ooh.
Nicely done.
That the one deep dish pizza on the side with the looks like jalapeno in the center.
This is the Chicago Fire.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the Chicago Fire before the crew dives into it, because they want to make sure that they're going to be okay to work the rest of the day.
It's a spicy sausage patty on the bottom, like with Chicago deep dish. A lot of people go for the patty sausage, which covers the entire bottom. The spicy patty sausage, red peppers, onions, and then a roasted jalapeno or habanero on top of it.
It's pretty good.
Delicious flavor. Really great. And beautiful, too.
I'm just giving Phil more opportunity to eat more pizza.
That's okay. Cool.
That's okay. He's not going to be able to eat more than 2 pieces. It's like pretty filling.
He's got the thin crust going there, too. He's working it all, so.
All right, I'm going to split that pizza now that you guys have seen the deep dish. The crew's going to dive in. I will hop back on later, but in the meantime, my Chicago kindred, enjoy the wonder that is Phil Gittelman.
Hey, you guys, I'm really happy that you took the time to come here. The fact that you have become pizza people and you come from the entertainment business, tell me something. I know that, Todd, you were a writer-producer.
Yeah.
And Dan, you were a lot in the radio.
I was a program director, a marketing director. I was on the air for many years.
And so you did. And so then you guys decided to go into the food business. And tell me why you chose pizza of all the things.
It wasn't just pizza.
Yeah. It was. I've been here for over 30 years, and bringing back pizza from Chicago with me every time I came back. Every time I was on a TV show, if I was on hiatus, during the hiatus, I was always thinking about what else is there? If I don't get on the staff, if I don't get to what else is there that I can do? What else do I feel passionate about? And pizza was something that I felt passionate about.
And we've known each other since we were 14. That's when we first met. And we actually went to Gino's East when we were 14. And we've been looking for something to do together for many years. And we decided it was time to do that, and kind of a public service, bringing good quality pizza here to Los Angeles, which is pretty underserved as far as per capita pizza places.
It is for good pizza. There's no question. I mean, I have just, pardon me, stuffed myself. I also have dinner coming. But I've had them put that aside because I'm going to share with my fellow residents and some of the staff some of this pizza. It's very kind of you guys. And
Glad to do it.
Now,
we may be living there someday ourselves,
Listen, it could happen, and you would be most welcome. There's no question about it.
It's a beautiful place, and it's a beautiful thing that they do out there for you guys, everybody, for the industry. So it's really important. So
no, it's very sweet. Now I know we've got a buddy of mine by the name of Mark Pariser, who was at your place the other day. on my recommendation, we were talking. Mark is a dear friend.
Yes, and he jumped. He jumped. You told him that day, and he was here like 2 hours later.
And he's back. Yeah. He's been here twice.
And he came the second day, yes.
Yes.
And he just went on about, starting with the Gino salad. It was very interesting because he wondered if that was a special dressing. Is that something that came from a family or something you made up?
It is a special dressing that was developed by Gino's in Chicago. That dressing's been there for as long as I can remember. So I think he had the house dressing, as I recall. And it's a special sort of a creamy Italian dressing that's just got, it's like, I don't know, I'm not a big salad guy, but I love something about it. Yeah, our salads are really good. And people really do rave about the salads because they're coming in thinking that they're going to get like just a big heavy meal, and they expect that with pizza, but they're very surprised that they get in it. They get a nice light salad with a lot of different flavors, and
they think they're going to get a chunk of iceberg with a little dressing on top, and they get a lot of ingredients in all of them, and they're very good. Yeah.
Well, they had quite a meal. I mean, between the antipasto, the calamari, the thin pizza, the deep dish pizza, and one thing that he noted is that, he's been full before at various places, but there was a fullness that just wasn't full. And from his point of view, he was thinking about the fact that your ingredients are so natural and so special in lieu of a lot of other pizza restaurants that throw a lot of, if you'll excuse the old Yiddish expression, chazarai, in the mix, that he was very surprised with the volume of food that he ate, that they weren't just, full and couldn't move and whatnot. And
one of our large pizzas can weigh like 5 pounds. So you are going to be filled. There are people who go, well, you've only got 6 slices in a large pizza. How is that going to fill me? And it's, as you can tell, you can eat maybe 2 slices. So it's a very good value. Not only tastes good with the ingredients and the recipes we've been using since 1966, but it's also very filling.
Yeah, and we make the dough every day, and that's why it's fresh. We make the sauce every day, and that's why it's got that sort of that freshness, to it. I mean, the veggies everything gets prepared fresh every single day. So, nothing's just like a pre-made product. So it's
right. Everything is perfect. Tell me something about your calamari, because that happens to be a favorite of mine, along with...
You talk about it. I'm allergic to seafood. You talk about it.
Well, it's a nice, lightly fried calamari with zucchini and pieces of lemon in it, and a little bit of pepper, red pepper, and people love it. I mean, it's one of those things that is best eaten here in the restaurant, which you can do now. We are open in the back. We have a nice patio set up. Reservations recommended. But it is very strong. It's just one of the many appetizers we have that are great. The Brussels sprouts with the pancetta, they're charred and they're wonderful. We have chicken wings like you've never had. They're tender and they're big and they're juicy. We have mozzarella sticks that are made in our Chicago store and that they ship out here. But they're some of the best mozzarella sticks you'll ever try.
Isn't it? So then did you have to, from a business point of view, do you pay them a certain something because you're using their name and franchise fee or whatever?
We're a franchise of the original Gino's in Chicago, where there's not that many of us. There's like 8 or 9 total. Some of them are company-owned stores. It's a very small business. When we first wanted to do this, we had to convince them to let us bring it here to California. They were protective of the brand. We had to convince them that, we weren't just in it for money, that we were actually participating in this, that, they knew that I had been in, show business for a long time. And they're like, if you get a TV show, you're not just going to run off and do a TV show. And it's like, no, I'm not going to give somebody 10% of this. But they're, so, we had to convince them that we were serious about doing this, and we're both passionate about this food. I mean, we really are, and also about the experience of meeting, like Chicagoans and Angelinos. That's the funnest part. I mean, it's great to see them happy about the food, but it's even nicer to connect with people from all over Los Angeles and from Chicago. I mean,
and they dress up to come here. We get a lot of people in Cubs or Bulls or Sox.
Well, sure, coming from out of state.
Yeah.
Well, but are you the only Ginos in the state of California at this
We are
So far.
So far, we will. I mean, we have the right to expand. We probably would have by now if COVID hadn't, occurred.
Right.
But yeah, we are the only Gino's East in California right now. And we're actually like the only authentic Chicago deep dish pizza, like from Chicago in California. I mean, like there's a competitor out like in Moreno Valley, but that's about it. I mean,
Everybody else who tries to do deep dish around here is doing their take on it. So it does have a sort of different feel than you've got it actually in Chicago, unlike ours, which is authentic.
Yeah, very much so. I can't wait to get my hands and mouth into it. I'm looking forward. But then, in order for another Gino's to open in California, must it come through you?
And no, well, let's go through through Chicago. Through Chicago.
Through Chicago.
Yeah,
So,
through Chicago.
But as far as anywhere in LA County, it's us.
It's us.
you are exclusive, so they can't jump into LA County.
They cannot jump in. That was important to us to be able to be here, to have the time to develop the brand here, to get people who knew it, to find us, and then to expand it, get people to discover us, and then be able to go to the other neighborhoods and stuff. So
What's your biggest sellers?
probably sausage and pepperoni are absolutely the biggest sellers.
Oh yeah. As far as ones you build yourself, as far as specialty pizzas,
Yeah.
probably the Gino Supreme or the Chicago Fire or the Meaty Legend.
Like Gino Supreme is like onions, mushrooms, green peppers, and then meat as well, either pepperoni or sausage. So that's very popular.
Yes, Mark and his group had some Canadian bacon and pineapple.
Right.
Yeah.
That's yeah. That's another thing. By the way, just about an hour ago, I was just reading that pineapple is the least popular topping on a pizza, apparently. It's second least behind anchovies,
Wow.
which I don't like. We served one yesterday. A pineapple and anchovy, no less.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I was popping back on to ask you that age-old question because I love a good Hawaiian pizza, and we talked a little bit about this before. I lived in Chicago for a few years. Gino's East is one of those places that's just like, shut up, it's so good. But to have the Hawaiian in the deep dish is really, it's just like...
The sauce brings out any pizza. I mean, we have really, really good sauce. And that's
and the long cook of it. Like, when you cook for 40 minutes, just all the flavors kind of, meld together. I mean, we even have a couple, specialty pizzas like the burger and fries and the buffalo chicken, which now would not be called the traditional Chicago pizza by any measure,
Right.
but those flavors are just somehow, even you put burger and fries and lettuce and pickles and stuff, and you make it on our pizza, and it's pretty good. It really is. It's heavy. It's a lot of pizza. But it's really good. So.
I have Chicago friends, a bunch of transplants from Chicago that I know. When Gino's East opened on Riverside, the gift certificates from Gino's East just started flying because it was a great way to welcome the Chicago brand for all of the people that missed and were desperate to kind of have that taste of home. And I know this is one of the things that Phil will dive into a little deeper, but
Excuse the pun.
this last year has been hard for restaurants. How has the Chicago community in Los Angeles helped you guys get through? Have they? Are they just a bunch of losers? Tell me.
They followed our progress before we opened, and we're all lined up
Yeah.
all the way down the street.
So so we were very fortunate that we found an audience quickly. You know, I mean, a lot of restaurants, it takes a while to get your footing. They were there for us. Thank you so much for that. So we had a really good foothold once stuff happened. So and then we also, because when we opened, we only did dine-in because it was just too much to manage dine-in and carry-out. So when we switched to carry-out, a lot of people who had never had a chance to sample us because they didn't want to wait in line to get in here finally had access to it. And so it had opened us up to like an entirely different, set of, clients and stuff. So we have regulars who ate in here. We have people who have only carried out. We have kind of a great mix. So we were very fortunate that, the people have been there either way.
And we've seen a lot of native Angelenos who've discovered it now, or have been referred to by their Chicago friends, or have visited Chicago, who have embraced it. We even have New Yorkers who come in and say, this isn't pizza, but by the time they leave, they will admit that there is more than just New York style pizza.
How long are you open now?
We've been open like a year ago. December is when we opened. So we opened it. It felt like the Roaring '20s, followed by like the Great Depression. that stock market crash. Because I mean, it was like it was for a brief period. We really felt like we had the hottest restaurant in Los Angeles, and I mean, LA Magazine said we had the hottest. We did have a really bouncing restaurant here, and then just, I mean, like I said, this obviously we want everything to be healthy, but it's sad. The saddest part was the connection. That's the great,
And we still meet people when they come in, especially if they're dining in the patio in the back. But even since we have just done delivery and carry out, LA Eaters named us number 2 most essential pizza in Los Angeles, which we are so grateful for that praise.
And who are you using? Which deliverers are you using out there these days?
It's a struggle for any restaurant because of a lot of the name brand delivery services charge a huge percentage of your profits.
Right.
We go with a proprietary online ordering system, and we have a local group of people, former restaurateurs, who do it so that we know it will be delivered with love and not tilted sideways, because it's a very delicate pizza.
And we're able to pay a flat fee to them as opposed to like a Postmates or a DoorDash, who take anywhere from 20 to 30% of our revenue. So we're able to predict it, and it's a much better situation for us.
So,
they do a great job. We know all the people. I think there's one over there right now. So.
One waiting. It's just amazing. But you know your business, you know your product, and the people love it, and it's quite something. I have enjoyed it. I will continue. I will get into the deep dish pie, and it's really a pleasure, guys.
Well, we really appreciate you letting us be part of your show.
Listen, you guys are supportive of MPTF. It's appreciated beyond belief. I'm here 6 years, and it's a home that is like nowhere else. And I thank my lucky clouds. And then I met Jen, and then I got involved, and here we are 6 years later, and we're still talking about food.
That's great. Well, like at least this restaurant would not exist if it wasn't for show business. If it wasn't for as a WGA member for 25 plus years, my residuals, my contracts, everything all the security that came to me through collective bargaining and through our union is why I was able to do this. Why Dan and I have the freedom to have to do something that challenges our creativity in a different way. But at this point in life, it's not just sitting on our ass going I got this script that I want to sell, and nobody would think of me. It's so rewarding to have something that people care about, that people want. I mean, I had always joked before I did this that I would open a liquor store because you don't have to convince people to buy your product. You don't have to pitch it. You just people walking in, they're like, I'll have a 6-pack. Yeah. And you don't have to upsell them. And if this feels like that, people come in, they want your product. They're not telling you to rewrite it. They're not giving you notes. it's a, so it's very satisfying. Yeah, we do get notes. I shouldn't say that. I forgot about Yelp. But nonetheless, I don't have to take the notes. It's not like a network executive. So it's a really great, experience. And it's, and it feels like a lot for me, like a writer's room, because you get to go around and talk with people and joke and but without the pressure of like getting it done, So it's really great for us. And it's also, like Dan said, we've been friends our, entire life now, and it gives us a chance to do something together too.
As you move around your restaurant and as you talk to your fellow friends and patrons, have you thought about a new pilot, a new kind of series?
Absolutely. It's funny because like I had really kind of was like, I'm done. But the thing that I've learned about this business more than anything, like for me, is the connectivity. And that like for me personally in my life, I would say, Dan, every day I meet somebody who's connected to my life in some way, in some form. Just today, there was somebody who came in and her best friend went to my high school in Chicago, graduated a year before me, and she puts me on the phone with her. One day, Dan like taps me on the shoulder and he says, "Oh, this guy over here grew up in Graymore," which is where I grew up. The area where I grew up in Chicago is like, I said, his dad grew up there. I said, "Who's your dad?" He said, gave me his name. I said, "I know your dad. I know your mom. I was sent by your grandfather to keep them apart." I said, "And my brother used to be married to your aunt. How's that?" Like, I mean, so the connectivity of stuff. I've had agents that I've fired come in. I've had, network executives. I've had writers who I worked with, writers who I admired, writers who fired me, so like, so in terms of what you asked your question, I feel like there are stories in here. I'm not sure what it is yet, but I've worked,
It was quite a story trying to get open too.
Yeah.
With the city of Los Angeles and some of the regulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's always challenges. I mean, every day is a challenge of one sort.
But it's fun too. We're able to create events. We're able to do. I mean, having worked in radio, a lot of what I did was back and forth with the public, and that's what we're doing here too. It's nice to have people who appreciate what you're doing, and you get feedback.
Yeah, and we get to meet cool people like, from all walks of life who do, I mean, both, it's exciting for us to meet like character actors as it is to meet like, the A-list, because it's like, oh, that's that guy who's been in a zillion things that we watch. I mean, we love that. And Chicago's got so many character actors out here.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a really great, loyal group of people who just are really appreciative of, that we're here and who have, experienced this and what, people who were on films in Chicago for a couple of months and discovered us, or, went to college there. So it's really rewarding.
And we should definitely mention our Italian beef sandwich, because it's a favorite in Chicago when we bring the beef in from there and the buns.
Wow.
And it's a truly amazing sandwich. And one of the reasons that people come in a lot, too.
You bring the beef in from Chicago?
Yes. We bring Italian beef in, which, is a really Chicago thing. It's, the thin slice au jus.
Giardiniera.
Yeah. And then,
sweet peppers.
And our sausage comes from Chicago also. Anachini Sausage is been like the oldest sausage company in Chicago, one of them. We just wanted it to taste exactly like you.
Which is why you know what to expect if you've ever had it before and you're not surprised.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Phil, have you ever had a proper Chicago Italian beef?
No, I haven't, because for many years, I don't eat a lot of meat.
Right.
So I really haven't. I have been in Chicago several times. I've, Rush Street?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have walked the walk and gone in and out of the places on Rush Street. I've frozen from the wind.
Oh, yeah.
Almost slipped and broken my neck on the sidewalk, which is ice during the winter. And we did a couple of series there. And so I had the pleasure. But I'm a born Angelino. And, in my travels, I come back and I get off the plane here in Los Angeles. And you know something, guys and Jen? I kissed the ground. I kissed the ground that I had the mazel to have my parents raise me here and my other brother and sisters, and California. I've done a lot of traveling. There's so much more to do, but one of my hobbies is that every restaurant that I have gone into, I ask for a business card. And I have, I don't know, 2,500, 3,000 business cards filed under cities. And
that's great.
yeah, sometimes.
We're fortunate to miss the Chicago winters here. So
yeah. I kissed the ground. I could kiss the ground in Chicago because my lips would freeze. But
You really
I've been here over half my life now.
Yeah.
And you know, it's on a day like today, how can you not be happier here than in Chicago?
I've been here for 3 years, so, but I truly appreciate it.
It is. Okay.
I have a couple more pizza-related questions. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right. Because I grew up in New Jersey, I moved to Chicago after college and, you know, have an appreciation for both. But there's something, if Phil's about to get into that deep dish pizza, Phil, are you having you're having the thin crust, okay.
This is the thin crust.
So the question, you guys might know where I'm going, you might not. Knife and fork.
With the deep dish.
With a deep dish. I mean, like, if it's a thin enough piece, it's not like a snob thing. It's a practicality. It's just a messy pizza. It's purely from a practical point of view that you have to eat it. Like I would not eat my tavern pizza with a knife and fork unless there were just so many toppings. But no,
you pick up the deep dish to eat it like that. You're going to get sauce on your sleeve. You don't want that.
And the cheese gets very drippy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We can do a cheese pull that goes up past here when you take it out. There's in a large deep dish. There's over 3/4 of a pound of cheese in it.
Well, then, what is your suggestion in how to eat a deep fish?
Like I would say, you probably do want a knife and fork for a big enough piece because it's really messy. But if it's at that point where you can pick it up, I'm not going to knock you for picking it up. That's, I mean,
he may
we're not snobs about that.
He may knock you for an anchovy and a pineapple pizza, but not that.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're right. You can eat it with chopsticks. I don't care.
Like in New York, New Jersey, you fold your pizza and you eat it without a knife and fork. Like that's.
Yes, you do. That's why when it's cut in tavern style, we don't give you that option.
Right. In Chicago, they do things they don't do on Broadway.
That's right.
Right.
I'm not going to stand up for Chicago bagels, but I will stand up for our pizza.
And I was in New Brunswick, New Jersey, which is where some of the other Gittelmans came from and landed from Russia. They wanted to go out and have some tomato pie. And I said, okay. Yeah. I had never heard that expression before in my life. And I realized after that they were talking about pizza.
Yep.
Tomato pie, never heard of it.
Tomato pie.
Yep. Yeah, I'm half Sicilian, so I grew up hearing it.
So
well, guys,
I'm going to back off now and thank you for feeding Phil, for sending enough pizza to severely hurt one of our crew members at least.
Good.
That's amazing. Thank you. And hopefully,
we saw the lens.
Hopefully we see you back here again in the not too distant future. But
that's great
to see you.
I'm going to hand it back over to you, Phil. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Listen, guys, I can't thank you enough for taking the time, the energy, and your time in the kitchen to send us all this pizza. I mean, it's beyond outstanding.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it beyond words.
Well, you're certainly welcome. Glad to do it. We spread the love of pizza. It's great.
Well, I would just like to say to you in signing off that it's truly been a pleasure until we meet again.
Thank you.
Thank you very
We
much.
look forward to seeing you in person.
We do.
All right. Take care.
And you will.